Welcome, everybody, to the rest of your life. Welcome, everybody, to Mudflood was Armageddon. The Mudflood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you or me in a fair, honest, non-violent way. So this, I feel, will be a very special show, or I wouldn't have titled it something like Anti-Charismatic Prophet Alan Paco talks Mudflood Armageddon and everything that matters. But, I spent 2 days, 5 hours taping, and, I was going to do maybe a series about where are the mud flood providers that are human instead of all of the robot short season providers right now. And I was thinking of Geomancy, an excellent content provider. I didn't see the spiritual side I hope to see grow, but he was excellent. And he hasn't made a video in almost 3 years. But the main takeaway is go with the show. A lot of this is going to be pictures to start off with. So with that said, I need to show the thing and keep rolling. So let's get to those pictures. Let's see. I know I did these videos. And so I got these things. Look at, so this guy got his Patreon told him you can't use Patreon anymore because you made a video about a suburb where Hasidic Jews are raising families of 8 and they've never had a job. They study the Torah, but they're the real welfare queens. And I studied history at home, history of water. This is geomancy. No, but look at how they got the whole river diverted here through wooden sluice. So there was a time when they found it. Don't underestimate them. They could fix some things. Look at this. You might say, well, yeah, it's not this. Yeah, but it got the camouflage done. There's Satan said, you're my son. Underneath a house? This is 1902. They really had to re-water, re-sanitize, act like the big stink was solved in a fortnight. I'm throwing some old-fashioned language there, hoping that you think it's kind of funny. The Jacobites, they're in on it. They're the Jewish Muslims that were faking we only deal with the Jacobites here in the USA. These other ones, though, they don't sound like they're a lot of fun. Is that Marrakesh? I couldn't read it. But there's 3 different groups, and those groups don't even, Dome. Jacobites were called the Dome. Thomas Jefferson was called the Jacobite. So it was Ben Franklin in the Hellfire Club. They used to say, Dome, I'm a Jacobite. I'm going to have to break it off there. I'll switch back to the other thing. Don't see any complaints like you're not sharing or I can't hear you, which would normally be there if that was going to be the situation. So I'm going to go back here and keep rolling. Got a lot of pictures to go through. Hoping you'll be able to keep up. We're studying the Dome Jacobites. Look, you got to, and that's Dome. It's the way they spell it. Turkey, they have a lot of conspiracy theories over there. They believe that the Judeo-Spanish word for little carps is how they got their name. And I think that they got it from the zodiac sign of the fish and why they were trying to warn people, like, don't trust the Jewish-led Jesuits, they're little carp heads. And that's why some of the old pictures used to be like, hey, look, they got fish on their head. That's funny. The Pope has a fish head. Hey, look. Oh, they're called Dome, and they have their own cemeteries. They're supposed to be a secret society, but you still got to bury them, you know. They knew you couldn't keep them in the house. They kept them in power. They kept this separate group of Jewish people acting like Muslims, conversios in name only, Carinos, for, I'm sitting there relishing in, is that a new word? But crypto Jews, they got the money, they're acting like Muslims, they're working at Princeton. It's a long story, but this guy learned their language. This is their story. Hanged out at a cemetery, told these people, I speak your language. Can I translate your Dome doctrines? Yeah, you got it. Oh, wow. So they were the ones that planned the 1933 Havara Agreement. Nope, that was the Nazis and the Zionists. The Nazis and the Zionists had an agreement called Hazara. The Havara. It was because they were going to make some money. There's another name for it. Here's one of their monies from 1922 or 1924. They had the swastika on one side and the Star of Rimfam on the other. Isn't that weird? I got a couple of extended quotes here. Please bear with me. One can reasonably predict that Nazi exterminations would have eventually, at some point, extended to all Jews under Axis control, including outside of Europe. But during the war, in history, as it actually unfolded, there was neither an ongoing nor imminent plan to carry the dream out of Nazi exterminations. Including outside of Europe. It actually unfolded neither an ongoing nor imminent plan, but they had this plan. They had that plan. Here's the guy that did it. You need to get to know this guy Stern. I forget his last name. I'll be reminded of it soon. He was previously responsible for the Eargums foreign relations. Stern left after disagreeing with the group's earlier policy of collaborating with the British. He believed that the Jews should aid the British war effort only after the British had given the Zionists their independence, when it became clear that they had no such plans. Read the Balfour Agreement. In 1940, Stern passed a message to Nazi Syria, offering to fight for Germany if Hitler would support the reestablishment of the Jewish state in what they call the fake Jerusalem today. That's what Stern did. He's Stern. There he is. Here's another quote at the Nuremberg trials, I think. Stern's belief that Nazi Germany, the architect of Jewish genocide, could be a strategic ally in the fight against British colonialism reveals the extent of his single-minded nationalism. This is my country. Lehi attempts to align with the Nazis, the Jewish, sounds Jewish, in 1940 and 1941. Wow, already after they had gone through and said, all you